When my wife's father died, the call came at midnight. Her father was gone. She didn't cry, not once. Instead, she smirked when the lawyer's voice confirmed it. The estate will be transferred to the next of kin. I watched her eyes flicker. Not grief, not sorrow. Greed. Within a week, she wore silk robes and ordered wine she never drank before. Her father's death was a feast, and she was already drunk on it. Then came the sentence that hollowed my chest. "Find somewhere else to live," she said, staring past me like I was furniture she no longer needed. "Or die. I don't care. You're useless now." The house still smelled of her father's cigars, of old leather and dust. And she stood there, dressed in inheritance and contempt, stripping me out of my own life with a single shrug. I left without a word. But silence is not weakness. Silence is storage, and mine was filling. For days I sat in a cheap motel, staring at stained ceilings and replaying her words. Useless. Die. I'd given her years, supported her when she refused to work, covered her debts, fed her excuses when her friends whispered about her laziness, and now, discarded, like a dull blade. But something was off. Too quick, too absolute. She hadn't even waited for the will to be read before she exiled me. That's when the lawyer's words echoed again. Transferred to the next of kin. Not to her, to the next of kin. She had assumed, she had celebrated early. But what if assumption was her noose? Her sudden cruelty wasn't just betrayal, it was panic. Panic disguised as power. I began to wonder, what exactly had she inherited? I started digging, quietly. Old records, family files, birth certificates. A pattern began to form, one she had never noticed because she never cared enough to look. Her father had married late. There was another name, a son born before her. Half-blood, but blood nonetheless. The rightful heir, perhaps. I traced transactions, hidden transfers, sealed accounts. The lawyer's laughter still rang in my ears when I had asked casually about the will. He had said only one thing. Did you even read it? She hadn't. But I would. Every evening I returned to the lawyer's office, patient, calm. I didn't push. I let him talk. I let him underestimate me. People always do when you keep your voice even and your eyes still. And then he slipped. A chuckle. A folded copy of the will left unattended for just long enough. I didn't steal it. I didn't need to. I only needed a glance. One line. The inheritance wasn't hers. Not entirely. The house and $33 million went to her husband. To me. She was nothing more than caretaker. Unless, of course, she removed me. Her cruelty made sense now. She wasn't celebrating wealth, she was suffocating fear. When I walked back into that house, she looked startled, then angry. "I told you I placed the will on the table," calmly, slowly. Her voice broke mid-sentence. She snatched at the pages, scanning, her lips trembling. "What is this?" "You didn't read it." My voice was steady. "You only assumed." Her face drained, a pale mask of dawning horror. All her silk, all her wine, all her contempt, it collapsed in that instant. She laughed, thin and shaky. "No, no, this isn't." But her eyes told me she knew. And I knew. And knowing is enough. I didn't shout. I didn't strike. I simply walked through the house as if reacquainting myself with it. Each step slow, measured. "This is mine," I said, not to her, but to the walls, the floors, the ghosts of her father still lingering. Every inch, every dollar. She followed, stammering, pleading now. "You wouldn't, you can't just—" "I can," I said. My hand brushed the banister, the marble counter, the doors. and I will. I turned at the threshold of her father's study, the heart of the estate, my estate. You wanted me gone, I whispered. So go, find somewhere else to live, or die. I don't care. Her mouth fell open. The words she had once thrown at me now returned, colder, sharper, final. She broke then. Tears, panic. She reached for me as if pity might soften stone. But stone does not bend. I called the lawyer. Papers were already in motion. Within days, she would have nothing. I sit now in her father's chair, smoke curling in the air like a slow exhale. She is gone. The house is quiet, and I am not grieving. Revenge is not rage. It is revelation. I see her face still, the moment the will burned her illusions to ash. That is enough. That moment belongs to me forever. The money, the house, they are incidental. The real inheritance is clarity. I was never useless. I was the blade she mistook for rust. Now she knows, and knowledge cuts deeper than any wound.